Hello everybody, it is Mike's Talks and Thoughts here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing a Prison Break characters tier list. Now for me, Prison Break was a show that absolutely blew me away. I watched it in a very short amount of time in 2021. I absolutely loved this series. I recently just did a review of Prison Break. I'm going to link that video in the description below, and I absolutely just had so many good memories with this series, so many classic moments, and so many phenomenal characters. I just had to do a tier list for the top characters from Prison Break. So yeah, this was just the tier list I found. I'm also going to link this in the description below. And if you like to, you can comment down below your favorite characters from Prison Break. I'd be very interested in seeing what you guys have to say. But yeah, let's get started here. So first here we have Lincoln Burrows, the man who pretty much starts the whole series off, and I think that Lincoln is a S tier character. Him and Michael have some of the best moments in the series, and Lincoln is just awesome. He has some great character moments throughout the series, and he's just a fucking badass to me. Like, just the way he's always in fight scenes and action scenes, and just even like his acting is just amazing. Dominic Purcell is amazing as Lincoln Burrows. I think Lincoln is a S tier character. Now next tier we have Daddy. That's what they called her. So that's what I'm gonna say. Daddy is in the D tier. She's only in Prison Break, the final break, and if you saw my review, you know that the Prison Break, the final break, is my least favorite product that Prison Break put out. I'm not really the biggest fan of it, and the only reason that Daddy is not going to F tier is because I didn't absolutely hate her in the final break, but she was not memorable at all, not very likable. So I'm gonna put her in the D tier. Just very forgettable character. Next up here we have C Note. C Note is awesome. I'm gonna put C Note in the A tier. He has a great character name in Benjamin Franklin. I thought that was really cool how they did that. Rockman Dunbar is a great actor, and he plays the role incredibly. The first couple seasons, he is so good, and I love the depth that they gave him. That this man is a family man, and he's just trying to do the right thing to get out of prison, help his family. You feel really bad for his daughter with his daughter having all these medical problems, and just the struggles he goes through is just very heartbreaking. But eventually he gets with his family and gets a nice heartwarming ending. Of course, it's great to see him back in season 5. That was a great addition. And yeah, he's going to go in the A tier. Now, next up here, we have Special Agent Lang. And for me, I think Special Agent Lang is going to go in C tier. She definitely, in like season 2, was definitely D or F tier. I couldn't stand her at all. She was one of my least favorite characters. Pretty much anyone who was working in the FBI that season, I couldn't stand them. But yeah, she definitely has some better moments later on. Of course, she's always in scenes involved with Alex. So, whenever Alex is in the scene, is usually when you'll see Special Agent Lang. And I think that she definitely has a great redemption story. This show is so known for its redemption stories. Characters who you can't stand, you hate, you despise, and turn into some of your favorites later on in the series. And she never really turned into one of my favorites, but she definitely redeemed herself with some of the actions she did later on. So yeah, C tier for Special Agent Lang. Now next up here we have LJ. This is Lincoln's son. And here. And for me, I'm going to put LJ in the C tier as well. I just really think that he really was not really flushed out as a character. I mean, you see him in the first couple seasons, you want Lincoln to get him safe, but it's like he doesn't really have much character development at all, and he's not really crucial other than being Lincoln's son. Like, he doesn't really have any big roles in the series. So yeah, I'm going to put him in the C tier. Now, next up here, we have Alex Mahone, and this dude is going in the A tier. He had the best redemption story I think I've ever seen of any character in any TV show. This dude was my least favorite character by far in the entire series in Season 2. I could not stand this man in Season 2. He was one of the most despicable characters I've ever seen. And then Season 3 and Season 4 rolls around, and this man just did a complete 180, and you feel so bad. You sympathize with Alex Mahone, and he becomes one of your favorite characters. Like, you just can't even help it. He becomes one of the best characters, and for me, he's an A tier character. He probably would be bordering on S tier if he wasn't so bad in Season 2. In Season 2, he's like an F tier character to me. I couldn't stand him at all. He was horrible, but later in the seasons, he definitely has that redemption story and definitely deserves to be on this A tier. Now, next up here we have Michael Scofield. In this tier list that I took, they have two pictures of Michael, so I'm just going to put one and leave the other one here. But yeah, of course, Michael is an S tier character, as we all know. Michael is just amazing. One of the best leads in a show ever. Like, Michael is just so good, so smart, and it's just like the way he concocts his plans and just the way he thinks is just so incredible. They really gave his character a lot of depth, and of course him and Lincoln have some of the best dynamics in the series. I love his scenes with Sarah, and I love his scenes with Lincoln and Sucre and Alex, and just everyone that he has a scene with. Wentworth Miller is one of the best actors I've seen in a long time. Him and Dominic Purcell, two of the best I've ever seen. And just Michael is one of the best characters for me of all time. He is clearly an S tier character. Now next here we have Warden Pope, and from Fox River, and I'm going to put Warden Pope in B tier. We don't really see much of Warden Pope throughout the series, but he definitely has some major roles, and I always thought that he was a really nice, solid addition to the show. He wasn't like a piece of shit warden where like he's a complete asshole. Like, he sympathizes with Michael for a lot of his time in Fox River, because he understands what Michael's going through. And yeah, Warden Pope, one of the best side characters from Prison Break. Next up here we have Christina, Lincoln and Michael's mom. I'm going to put her on the D tier. Really not necessary. Really unnecessary to even bring her character into the show. It just didn't need to happen, with a lot of people agree, and she really wasn't likable at all. I much prefer someone who we're going to get to later as a villain opposed to her. I'm going to put her in the D tier, just someone who we really didn't need to see in the series. Now next up here, another guy with a great redemption story, Paul Kellerman. Paul Kellerman's going on the A tier. Another one who, season 1, probably my least favorite character. Seasons 2, 3, 4, and 5, one of my favorite characters. Like, Paul Kellerman, that turnaround he has is just incredible. Redemption story. Him and Alex, two of the greatest redemption stories ever. Paul Kellerman, what a transformation this man had. Being one of the most despised people in the series to one of the best. And I don't know about most people, but for me, he was just so good when he made his redemption story count. Now next up here we have Norman, and Norman is from season 3 in the Sona prison, and I'm going to put him in the B tier. Of course, his actor was Major on The Wire, when I saw that, I was very happy because, of course, The Wire, another one of my favorite shows. But I'm gonna put him in the B tier. I mean, he definitely had a huge role in season 3, and was a big part of that storyline that carried season 3. But for me, he was just okay. I mean, he was solid. He's definitely a little bit better than the people I have above him. Or he's definitely a little bit better than the people that he's above. But just solid, but nothing spectacular. The next up here is the villain who I thought that was better than Christina, and that is General Jonathan Krantz. I think Krantz is going to go in the B tier. Again, I definitely think they could have made his character a little bit better, a little bit more ruthless, but he was pretty ruthless of a villain. But yeah, he's the leader of the company, and he is huge in basically season 4. You see him a little bit in the earlier seasons, but you really see him a lot in season 4, and I think he was a solid character. I wish they would have built upon him a little bit more, maybe give him a little bit more of a backstory, because you really don't know much about him. You learn a little bit more about his family life, but you don't really know like how he got into the company, how he became the leader of the company. So yeah, I'm gonna put General Krantz in B tier. Next up here we have Brad Bellick, another great redemption story for Brad, but his redemption story for me wasn't as huge as Mahone's or Kellerman's. I'm gonna put him in the C tier. His last scene though, that he's in is just so heartwarming. It's just really great. Just so emotional though too. But yeah, he has a great turnaround as well. One of the piece of shits in the first couple seasons, and eventually turns around and becomes one of the fan favorites again. That season 4 was a big season for turnarounds for characters, and Brad Bellick was just one of the ones that had that huge turnaround. So yeah, we're going to skip this extra Michael here, and we're going to go to Sarah. Now, I really like Sarah. I think Sarah is really good. I'm going to put Sarah on the A tier. I think she's bordering on S. Of course, she plays a great doctor in the first season, and then eventually, with her involvement in what happens in season 1, gets carried with Michael and Lincoln and the rest of the convicts throughout the rest of the seasons. And I really like her. I like Sarah Wayne Callies. I think she's a great actress. So yeah, I'm going to put her in the A tier. She is definitely really crucial to most parts of the story, especially with Michael. Her connection with Michael is just incredible. Next here we have Charles Westmoreland, and Charles Westmoreland was awesome. I thought this dude was really good. Really big standout in season 1. And for me, I'm going to put him in the B tier. He's probably the best character in B tier. And this man, another one you really sympathize with. You hear about his daughter and how his daughter has terminal cancer, and you just feel so bad for him, this man. But the legend of DB Cooper, the legend of DB Cooper, just so great. And even like the stuff that happens with him in season 1 carries huge into season 2. Most of the big plots involve a lot of the stuff that was directly affected by Westmoreland. So yeah, Westmoreland is a B tier character. Next up here we have Special Agent Homeland Security Don Self, of course in the 4th season. And of course Michael Rappaport, huge name in sports. But for me, I'm going to put Michael Rappaport in the C tier. Don Self was a solid character, but of course, I definitely think they could have gave his character a little bit more, little more to do. I mean, especially when the first half of season 4, you don't really see him do much. I mean, he's always kind of there, but it's mainly Michael and Lincoln working. But yeah, you see him a lot in the back half of season 4. I think he's a solid actor and a solid character, but nothing that absolutely blew me away or nothing that was like, this character is amazing. He was just kind of neutral for me most of the series that I saw him. Now next here we have our first F tier character in Gretchen. Another one who got a little bit better in the later seasons, but again, season 3, I couldn't stand her, and she doesn't really have as much of a redeeming qualities as Mahone, Kellerman, or Bellick. So yeah, she's gonna go in the F tier. I think she's just straight up awful. Mainly her character, of course. None of these actors or actresses are bad. I think they all play their roles really, really well, but Gretchen is just so unlikable. There's really nothing to like about her. I mean, even like when she's being blackmailed, you really don't even feel that bad for her. Next here we have Veronica Donovan, the main lawyer of the series, and of course a huge part of season 1. I'm going to put Veronica in the B tier. I always thought that she was solid. She did a lot of great work in the show, and her character was very, very, very crucial with Lincoln, and learning more about Lincoln in the first season and learning kind of how he thinks and how he works because of Veronica. So I'm going to put her in the B tier. Next here we have T-Bag, and wow, another one. Great redemption story for T-Bag in the revival. I'm going to put T-Bag in the A tier again, someone who I couldn't stand at all. But I always thought he was a great villain. I always liked him more than Krantz as a villain. Like, even though Krantz was solid, T-Bag was just best villain in the series. Just great acting. Robert Nemper is just such a good actor, and like the way his voice changes and his facial expressions just show it all. And Theodore Bagwell is just so good, so well done of a character. You learn about his past, and you learn like why he's in prison, what he plans to do when he gets out of prison. Is just very, very interesting. T-Bag, A tier character, and A tier on the character development. Next here we have John Abruzzi, and Abruzzi is going to go in the A tier as well. Someone who I wish we would have got more of, but he was so great. One of my favorites from season 1. Season 1 was just such a great season. John Abruzzi is one of the main reasons why. He is a great character, mafia leader, mob boss, which is just so interesting, of course. I love stories like that. Stories about crime and about the mob. So I thought his backstory was very, very interesting. I wish we could have got more background on him, but he was always a solid character, one of the best from the first season for sure. Next here we have Fernando Sucre, and he is going to be going on the S tier. He is my third favorite character in the series. Sucre is just so awesome. I mean, you can't not like Sucre. Like, I don't think there's anyone out there who says they don't like Sucre, because it's just no way you can hate this man. This man is so loyal, comes in clutch with so many great actions that help Michael and Lincoln so much. He is basically their right-hand man, and it's just so great to see. I wish we would have seen him get reunited with his family more, because of course, like, that's, you literally know that's his whole objective, starting in the first few episodes, that he wants to see his family. And I wish we would have got more of that, because Sucre deserved that. Sucre is an S tier character. And finally we have Nick, who is working with Veronica in the first season to help Lincoln, and then you eventually learn about his past. And yeah, I'm going to put him in the C tier. I liked Veronica a little bit more than him. Thought he was okay. Not the best though. So solid C tier. He's like on the same level for me as Don Self. So yeah, this is going to be the tier list here. I'm going to recap. So in S tier we have Lincoln, Michael, and Fernando Sucre. In A tier we have C Note, Alex, Kellerman, Sarah, Teabag, and Abruzzi. B tier we have Warden Pope, Norman, General Krantz, Westmoreland, and Veronica. C tier we have Lang, LJ, Brad, Don Self, and Nick. D tier we have Daddy and Christina. And F tier we have Gretchen. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below, like I said, your favorite Prison Break characters. I'm going to be linking below my thoughts on the Prison Break series. Hopefully you guys like that. And let me know of any more tier lists that you would like to see in the future. Alright, peace out.